So welcome everybody to the Australian Hypnosis Conference. Today I'm talking to Franchelle of Ofsoske, Wyber, and we are talking about the remarkable healing power of esoteric hypnotherapy, ancient wisdoms for modern times. Tell us more.
Well, we can't look at the topic of esoteric hypnosis or the teachings on trance states and esoteric hypnotherapy without looking at the bigger picture. And so we can't do that without going back hundreds of thousands of years to ancient Lemuria and the Lemurian civilization. So I'm really focused on looking at this bigger picture, trance states, and really tracking it back to get a deeper understanding of the power and wisdom that the ancients had on trance states. So if we just say, dance around and look at ancient Lemuria, and according to Madame Helena Blavatsky's secret doctrine, and she was a Russian mystic who founded the Theosophical Society, that the Lemurian civilization began in the Triassic period, and that was about 200 million years ago. So I think pretty much everybody's heard of the realm of ancient Lemuria. It's a real fascinating one, mystical and a legendary land that's sort of really now lost in the mists of time, but it holds profound wisdom for us with regard to healing, working with trance states, the intelligence of nature, really relevant to today's times and for those seeking healing or spiritual growth. So there's a lot that I could say about ancient Lemuria, but perhaps just touching on a few things that we know, that they were a highly accomplished civilization, and it predated even that of Atlantis and emerged from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. Lemuria is also known as Mu. And it's a big, vast landmass. And the people known as Lemurian possessed remarkable spiritual capacities and had a really inherent dynamic connection to the natural world. So we're familiar with, say, the crystalline energy grids, sound healing, the knowledge of the Lemurian lemniscate. So you may be familiar with the figure 8 on its side, the infinity sign. Well, that was sacred to the Lemurians and held deep spiritual meaning. And that symbol was used in Lemuria to signify particular trance states.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. So they also had an incredibly sophisticated relationship with nature and plant intelligence. So their civilization preceded the Atlantean civilization, which of course is understood to have come out of the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. So if we just move on to the Atlantean, and of course they, from a healing perspective, and their sacred temples of healing were, are renowned, and they were dedicated to healing, spiritual development, and their temples were constructed using intricate sacred geometry. Specialized resonant frequencies. And once again, they employed a really holistic approach, combining trance states, energetic therapies, vibrational medicine, and soul-based transformations. They're also known from the use of crystal healing technologies as well, because crystals held a central role in their practices. And also they are renowned for their way of working with elemental forces. So the elemental kingdoms of fire, earth, air, water. Foundational in healing the spirit. So what we really see, and when we're looking at these ancient peoples, is a real sophisticated knowledge that in many ways surpasses what we have now with our reliance upon allopathic medicine. And I'm not taking anything away from allopathic medicine. I'm just saying, if we come back to the ancient wisdoms, then there's so much there for us. And if we, as happened in Lemuria before it sank beneath the waves, the sacred healing and spiritual knowledge of Atlantis was taken out of Atlantis too before it sank. And much of that knowledge was taken to the land that now called Egypt.
Okay, yeah.
So we see this progression or this lineage of teachings coming through. And a portion of the ancient wisdom, of course, also went to the Himalayas and to South America.
Yeah.
And a portion of that ancient wisdom was also incorporated into very ancient shamanic traditions.
Yes. Yeah.
Very ancient shamanic traditions.
Wow.
So there's a common thread or link that not only connects the lost continent of Lemuria and Atlantis, but connects those lost continents with ancient Egypt and connects ancient Egypt with the present day.
Wow.
And that unbroken connecting thread is the House of the Bee Mystery School.
Oh.
And so House of the Bee Mystery School is the oldest mystery school on the planet.
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah.
its lineage teachings are the contemporary expression of those unbroken lineage of teachings that first emerged on Earth in the ancient continent of Lemuria.
Well, there
So
you go.
So the Esoteric Hypnosis Training Academy is a mystery school. It holds the teachings of the House of the Bee. One of my roles is High Priestess of the House of the Bee Mystery School. And so there are 3 schools that hold these teachings. The Esoteric Hypnosis Training Academy, Medicinal Centre of Shamanic Studies, and First Light Flower Essences of New Zealand. And so these ancient wisdom teachings that are hundreds of thousands of years old, and these are the ancient wisdom teachings on astrology, alchemy, magic, divination, esoteric hypnosis or trance, healing, the Hermetic science of the transformation of the human soul, the transformation of the science of mind, occultism, ritual and ceremony, shamanism, vibrational medicine. They are all mystery school teachings that belong to this lineage. And so that timing's everything, as we all know. Timing is so important for us individually, for us as a collective. And so with the turning of the ages and the inception of the Aquarian age, then which began in 1999, it's time to bring this information back, to make it more accessible. And so that's why, I speak at conferences, or why I created the 3 schools that I have, to be so that unbroken lineage, those 3 training establishments have woven through them the ancient mystery teachings on those 12 things that I just told you. So to me, it's a really, really exciting time in history, because the world all our structures are breaking down. But inherent in that, there are the seeds. There are the seeds of, the seeds that actually are ancient seeds and keys to healing, holistic healing. They can come back at that time, because as the structure fragments, as our structures and consciousness
on
the planet, that's the perfect time that those ancient seeds can be planted again, or come back, because it's one of them. They can't be planted again because they've never gone, but they can be consciously brought back to public awareness. And then this is an age of choice, isn't it? Free will. We have never before had so much choice. And so to me, that freedom of choice extends to our well-being. And our well-being, of course, we can't separate out from not just the well-being of our mind or emotional well-being, but the well-being of our soul, and well-being of our spirit. So that's my standing place in this lifetime, which isn't necessarily a very comfortable standing place, but it's that standing place to bring the heart of these teachings back at a time when, to me, they're desperately needed, because there's a lot of pain out there. And it's not just emotional pain or mental pain. There's a lot of spiritual pain, a lot of soul pain.
And as we're awakening and connecting more and more, it seems like this pain is coming forth, and many of us are just confused, like, where did this come from? Like, what am I doing? How do I ground again?
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about like the age of Aquarius and things like that. And I think to myself, how deep does this really go
Mm.
within us and our lineage? You
Yeah,
know?
look, absolutely. And I think it's designed. We look at those two planets that rule the Aquarian age, the
Mm,
planet Saturn and the planet Uranus. And Saturn is structures and that which is set, that our, whatever it may be, the existing structure, the existing story. And
mhm,
along comes the planet Uranus, which says, change it up, be liberated. Uranus is a planet of liberation.
mhm.
So it's a time when really this age is going to crack us wide open on so
Yes,
many levels. But
yes.
in coming back to the seed I was talking about, that is the most opportune time
Mm,
to be planting new seeds,
yeah.
but those old seeds are coming back to the ancient wisdoms. And while we talk about ancient wisdoms, I'm not limiting that to particular indigenous wisdoms, because to me the ancient wisdoms are universal. They're not limited to, I have to be this culture. This is a universal wisdoms on
Yes.
healing
Yeah.
and the power of soul and healing that are available to us all. And this is the time when we can really come back to our true nature, our true self, and kind of shed all the crap that we've taken on over, whether it's lifetimes,
Yep,
whether it's this
yep.
lifetime, and we take on enough in one lifetime. So you can imagine how much we take on over
Oh,
lifetimes. So to be
gosh.
able to bust through those,
Mhm,
but to bust through those and
mhm.
break out and break free and be liberated from them, it's to the depths of my being, I know we have to look to these age-old wisdoms to be able to do that,
Absolutely
so that
learn
it's
from it all.
sustainable. So we're creating, sustaining and maintaining a new reality, not just something like wallpaper that's been badly glued on the wall and it's just going to flop off the wall.
Because we have been limited in how we can access people and information. And some of this information was like strongholded in like a Pandora's box per se, and they were like, oh no, only the chosen few can access it. It's like, well, everybody needs access because we are all like, evolving and growing. And oh, you give me tingles, honestly. Every time I talk to you, I just get all these tingles in my tummy, and I was just like, ah, this is great. So yeah, honestly, I can't wait to hear your talk, darling. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, when you're talking about like ancient wisdoms for modern times, do you believe that sometimes we can be limited by these modern times because we haven't tapped into that past, like it's kind of been shut off as such, like shunned sort of thing?
Um, I think that once again, everything's about timing. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that what closes us off is our mind or our false ego.
Yes, yes.
That closes us off.
Mhm.
But if we're approaching, if I guess what I see a lot of is a lot of interest now in spiritual shamanic. It's
Yes.
kind of a lot of interest out there, and and how can I say this? Just these wisdoms are deep, so
Yeah.
you have to be prepared, I think, to move beyond limitations of mind, limitations of the false ego, and
Yeah.
really just be prepared to kind of
Go with
fall
that energetic flow.
to fall into this basket of supportive techniques
Yeah.
and training that is there for
Yeah.
us. But
Yeah.
I think
And
I
be
think
open to
it's,
absorbing it and really taking it in.
yeah, you're really
Yeah.
not just being a butterfly and,
Yeah.
and floating over the next bright shiny thing or the next
Yes.
technique or the next this. It's really about going into the depths of it. And as I said, that's
And
my
applying
journey in
yourself
this
to it.
lifetime. that we want substance, and we want the real gutsy, the guts of it, as
Yeah.
opposed to the the fluffy light.
Yeah, like the good, the bad, and the ugly as such, not
Mm.
just the fluffy, blah, blah, blahs.
Yeah,
Because even that gets me with some stuff. I'm like, oh gosh, have we just fluffed this up? Like, seriously? So
yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
I cannot wait to hear your talk. Franchelle is flying all the way from New Zealand. I'll be like the giddy skill girl in the background, just a little fan. Okay, so just ignore me when I'm there. Okay.
Well, I'm really happy to be supporting this, Trish.
Oh,
So I
thank you so
really look
much.
forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel honored. So, thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I'd like to say thank you to our major sponsor, Justine Lett, with the Golden Thread Protocol. She'll be there as well. And we're all just going to have an absolute blast. Like, it's going to be a fantastic 2 days. So, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will catch everybody in the next video. Bye bye.
Thanks, Trish.